Hello, Facebook family. Today is Fruitful Friday. I am inspirational author, life speaker, and a surrender rope of hope, Angelina Squire. Yesterday, I had made a personal Facebook post on my personal page, and it was a post about my autistic son, him and the meltdowns that he experienced. And I had used a caption that said, "Don't confuse your path with your destination." Just because it's stormy now doesn't mean that you are not headed for sunshine. So based upon that post and what I shared about my autistic son and that caption, I was asked to do a Facebook Live, but the reception, as I stated before, in my building is not good, so that prevents me from doing live videos. So that's why I do the recorded ones. So a young lady, based upon that post, she asked me to do a video, and the reason why was because she felt that she was never going to reach her goals. She felt that it was impossible for her to become a writer and a published author, because she was going through pretty much a lot of things at home in her personal life. And so this hit home for me because this was me several years ago. So today we're going to talk about destiny. We're going to talk about a couple of things that can come on our path and draw us to believe that just because we experience hard places, we begin sometime to think that we have no destiny or no purpose. So I wanted to share that for her, as well as anyone else that's having problems with struggling with walking in their purpose, whatever the case may be. Listen, don't confuse your pain, trials, or struggles with your destiny. Don't think that life or your struggles, that your life or struggles is all that you're destined to have, this life that just filled with so much pain. When we talk about destiny, the way that I define it is that it's a road that that's not always smooth, right? But it's a road that leads us and guides us while giving us practice on what God is going to use us to create and to do within the earth. For example, when I shared about my son's life, with his journey of autism, when he was first diagnosed, in the beginning, I saw it as an end of a life sentence. There was, and still even on today, we experience sleepless nights, seizures, sicknesses, many uncertainties that comes along with those that live with autism. But I had to go through and grow through. That's the key word. Grow through. I had to grow through it all to be driven to a part of my destiny, where God was leading me, my purpose in the earth, what I should be doing. This journey led my husband and I to create a 501c3 nonprofit for those that's dealing with autism and various disabilities, right? This was something that I never even imagined or even saw myself capable of creating. My regular 9-to-5 job, I loved it. I had to resign due to neck and back pain, but I loved that job, but I was still miserable. Something was missing. But building and operating within our foundation, it gave me fulfillment. See, purpose breeds fulfillment, excitement, joy, passion. My first book, when I had written it, I experienced, facing foreclosure, sicknesses, near-death experience, and so much more. You know, my life was filled with a lot of heartache and pain, a lot of dark, ugly places. But my pain and my process, my journey, my path equipped me to where I am today and where I am going. It led to a movie script, 16 more books, projects, even a kit that will help others with their visions, and so much more. And I'm still in my process. I'm still learning and growing, and I'm still going through heartache. But I know that I have a destiny, I have a purpose, and that's what keeps me on track. That's what keeps me in tune to God's voice and keeps me alive, right? This is what keeps me creating things, because I don't focus on that storm, that trial, you know, that pain and heartache, but I focus on the task at hand. So, although I'm still in the process, I'm in the next step, right? I'm at my next level where I know what shoes I can fill, because the pain of my yesterdays has prepared me to handle more. See, many want more, but they don't want, you know, the process. They want to skip the process. People always often ask me, well, how long did it take you to write your book? And I always say that it took me as long as I needed to. First, I had to believe that I could, right? I had to believe that I could. And it took as long as it needed for me to learn how to identify and obey the voice of the Lord, long enough to become teachable through the process and learn not to be so anxious to finish. Because when we're so anxious to finish, we will miss all the wealth within our process. You know, that's in our path, that's on our journey. But we get overwhelmed when we focus on, you know, the big thing, the finished product. And we haven't even finished a chapter or moved beyond a title. And for some of us, we haven't even moved beyond the very thought of what we say we want to accomplish within our life. We want the blessing again, but without the pain, without the pressure. Just like when a baby is born, if you focus all the time on wondering how the newborn, you know, will be when they go to high school, when they go to college, when they get married, you know, what career are they going to have, you would miss the precious moments that's already right there with you at the time while that baby is in their infancy stage. You will miss out on enjoying those milestones, right? You will miss out those milestones that child make each day, each month, each year. And that child has to go through the process of growing. That's the same thing with your vision, your purpose, your destiny. There are things to learn and enjoy while you're pursuing your goals, your vision, while you're on your road to destiny. You focus on what's necessary for each step of the process. You have to see those small steps really as big steps that's leading to greater steps that will lead you into your purpose, lead you into what you were created and destined to be. When we say that we can't do something because we're too busy, we have to work, you know, we have to take care of our wives, our husbands, we got to cook, we got to clean, we got to take the kids to school, doctor visits, we have to go through so many obstacles. Whatever your I can'ts are, it all has self-doubt entangled within it. The key is knowing that everyone has doubts and has storms. But don't allow those doubts and the fear of the unknown to keep you in park. Because when you're in park, you're not going anywhere. So what do we need to do in order to do those things that we say we can't do, or we don't have the time to do, or we think that we're not even equipped to do? One thing is time management. You know, like the young lady, she said that she don't have enough time. She got to take care of her baby, and among a whole, you know, a lot of other things that we have to do with life in general. But I call it becoming good stewards of the time that God has blessed you with. You know, some people probably saying, I have to catch 3 buses to work. I have so many, you know, appointments to go with. I have to keep running to the school because my child keep acting up, and on and on and on. My life is just too full for me to pursue anything. I can't accomplish my goals because my life is too full right now. My plate is too full. Some of you may be even saying, I don't even have time to just breathe, you know, let alone talk about writing a book or starting a business. So you mean to tell me that all of the successful people that you see, are you saying that they are given more time than you and I? We all have the same 24 hours within a day, right? Regardless of our daily tasks. Time is time. So how can we have more time? First of all, you got to make time a priority. It's okay to make a schedule. You know, some of you may write in a planner. I do sometime. But what happens when something unexpected, you know, happens? It jumps off. And that time that you set aside is now, it has become interrupted. 9 times out of 10, you think right there that you have failed, you know, that you have lost, because you're focusing on that point of time, and that's really all it is. It's just a moment in time. So don't become extremely dependent upon the planner or things, but become dependent upon making good of every minute within your day. So you have to know that it's okay to make adjustments along the way, right? As long as you're remaining productive. So the key is to keep moving. We also have to be focused. Again, focus on what's important to your destiny, to your goals. You fill up the space that was wasted in your life on things, you know, and time that doesn't matter when you're not focused. But when you're focused, you fill it up, right? Because now you're doing things that are meaningful, in line with your destiny. Life point number 1, and this is very important. Busyness without purpose equals no fruit, no productivity, no productiveness that will take you miles away from your destiny. So you got to be careful that you're not doing too much, you know, doing too many things that are meaningless to where you are going, that you're not even, you know, accomplishing anything. You're just wasting time. It's like you're going around in circles. And another thing that trips us up is comparing ourselves to others, which bring me to life point number 2. Comparison will always kill who you are. It drains you because you begin working towards being someone else, something that you are not. Example, if your goal is to become an author, so you now begin to look on someone else who is this, you know, self-published author. Now you begin to see how long it took them to write their book, their process of how they published their book. Now you become depressed because it's taking you longer to write and publish your book than it did them. So now you believe that you have failed. No, you failed when you first measured your path your journey and your success and your destiny in light of someone else's path. That's when you fail. You set yourself up for failure. Picture this. You wear a size 10 shoe, and I'm going to use ladies because you will see why I'm saying this. So imagine that you wear a size 10 heel, right? The person that you are mimicking, the person who you are comparing yourself to, right? They wear a size 4 heel. Now picture yourself walking down the road in that size 4 heel and you wear a size 10. Painful? Yes. You will stick out like a sore thumb. A sore thumb. Why would you stick out like a sore thumb? Because you are walking in something that's not your size, not structured, not prepared, or tailor-made for you. It's okay to admire others, but don't think that your path has to be paved the same way as someone else in order for you to become successful. You can't be the best you going through life dressed in someone else's armor, because you didn't go through the fight that prepared them to wear their armor. See, on your path, you won't fall victim to misery, because you will discover some amazing things that you can do that you never even imagined yourself doing. On your path, the chaos that greets you will not stop your destiny, because your process, right, has given you the substance and the strength to go through it all. Another thing that we need is patience. Patience is necessary in order to see your visions come to full fruition within your lives. Patience is very much needed because we all face various storms. You're right. I'm sorry. So we all face various storms, distractions, and this will cause us to give up. It will cause us to give up. And that can be the very moment where God is getting ready to deliver his blessings into your life. It's so easy to give up when things are not happening as fast as we think they should be happening. So we need patience. We also need preparation. You have to prepare your minds to receive God's visions first, right? And prepare your hearts to receive his instructions. That's pertaining to the vision. Your thoughts and your actions. Every thought and action that you have, that you do continuously, this will determine your destiny. So if you're doing something meaningful in light of your destiny, your purpose, and you're doing it continuously, you will move closer to your destiny. But if you're doing things that's totally opposite of where you are going and you're doing that repeatedly, well, you're going to remain in part, like I said earlier. So preparation is vital when it comes to our minds, our thoughts, and even our words, because your words impact how you feel about yourself. Your words create actions or prevent actions. How many times have you said, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not educated enough, I'm not gifted, and on and on and on. This is critical because your words can drive you towards your goals and your destiny, or they can separate you entirely from them. Think about it. Your words can motivate you to do things that you thought you could never do. Example, when I wrote the first book, I went through the I can't and the I am not syndrome. Even though I had a burning desire to write that book, I still went through the I can't do this, I am not enough syndrome. Even after I accepted and obeyed God's instructions on me to do so, I still had to go through that and grow through those stages. I first began saying I'm not an author, I never went to seminary college, I'm not a pastor, and the list went on and on and on. We are not to fall victim with this I can't, because when we do this, really what we're doing, we're saying that we don't measure up to the visions. We don't have that kind of faith that it takes to believe that God can even do the impossible within our lives. But how do you know what you can't do if you haven't even tried it yet? You have never done it before. So when I begin to tell myself that I can do it with God's help, that I am enough, confidence began to overrule where fear and doubt and frustration was once controlling. Then I became excited and began looking forward to challenges, which led me to the next P, which is we need planning. I began to write down what I need to do to begin, writing my book. I first began with the title that I heard in my spirit, which was Tune Down the Enemy's Voice and Tune Up God's Voice, which led to the title, Tune Into the Right Voice. I put it on paper. You have to have a visual. You got to get it out of your head, right? So that became my visual. And then I began to look over my life and also began to do research. This is the part where most of us, we want to skip. We don't want to do anything physical. We want the book. We want the business, but we don't want to do any research into where we are going, right? So I began to do some research, looking over everything that I endured. And with this, that became a starting point of my writing. And the next P is perseverance. Perseverance. This is where you continue to move forward regardless of anything that you are facing. So even though you may feel right now that you're at the end of your rope, life is too hard for you, and you feel like you're going to fall off, take that end of the rope and make a knot, and you continue to hold on. There will be times where we, fail, or we may not complete a task, but perseverance and sticking to it will eventually allow us to overcome and succeed, right? It's doing the right things over and over and over again. You wake up every day, you put one foot in front of the other, and you continue to go on, not letting any distractions deter you. Just because we're traveling on this journey called life, right? And roadblocks come up. And roadblocks are some of the obstacles that I said, like sickness, foreclosure, some of you dealing with drug addiction, alcohol, whatever it may be, you lost your job, your car, whatever that painful thing is within your life, these things will come up. A lot of uncertainties will come up. Even people will, can be a roadblock to us, a hindrance to our destiny. But the enemy uses this to trick you into believing that you cannot proceed or move forward, right? Roadblocks just simply says that there's a good reason why you can't move on ahead in that particular direction. But you need to get a mental picture within your minds and really see that roadblocks that we come upon, they're not permanent blockage. That's what you have to see for yourself right now. Those of you that desire to write books, build businesses, or whatever it is, you got something in your way. You have to see it as something that's temporary, that it's not a permanent roadblock that's trying to deter you on your road to destiny, but see it as a temporary thing. They are removable. We can be certain that there will be detour signs. But again, we can always go around it, right? Every journey will lead us somewhere in life. We just need to decide where we want to end up. That's what you have to decide today. Your destiny, your purpose, your vision has to be greater than that pain, that temporary roadblock that's facing you right now. You have to be determined to win, right? You have to be determined to win. Storms will always prepare you for something great that's about to happen. For every storm, you have to see it again as a growth step, a movement upward and towards your destiny. Just like a tornado is very destructive, right? It's a very destructive wind. I see our life struggles, our temporary roadblocks, like a storm that we are riding through while on our course to greatness, that will produce some tornadoes along the way, that will pick up debris, debris like pain, fear, disappointment, doubt, hopelessness, I'm not good enough, all those I can'ts that you carry around with you daily, troubled hearts, and many other things. But hold on to whatever message, whatever idea, whatever vision that God has given you, because it's on its way. Again, it's your mindset. It's how you view things. Again, your destiny has to be so important to you that you wake up, you breathe it, you eat it. That's all. You have this hunger to keep going. If you can stay in your process, don't try to jump over in someone else's lane because you think that their path looks greater than yours. You will be surprised at what that person had to go through to get to where they are now. And I guarantee you, some of the people who you are desiring to be or comparing your path to, you really wouldn't want to walk in their shoes because they had to endure some things that you can't even stand up to. So be careful trying to compare your path to someone else. And you would even be surprised that what's in your path is actually even brighter than some of the people who you have your eyes set on. So again, momentary setbacks are not unnoticed to God. Your pain is not unnoticed to God. They are all a part of His perfect plan. We're all going to go through stuff. We're all going to have, so much going on sometime that we think we can't do something. But you have to make time. You have to create that time for yourself. Look at your life and see where, wasted time is being used. Sometimes we're watching programs that don't even feed our mind with positivity, right? That's wasted time right there that you can be using to work on your goal. When your children are asleep, use that time. I know some parents are saying, well, when my child is asleep, I got to go to sleep too. But when you're pursuing purpose, when you're going towards your destiny, you're going to have to lose some sleep sometime. You're going to have to make that sacrifice. So you have to choose each and every day what's greater, where I am at now or what God has promised and shown me. And I guarantee you, whatever you make greater within your life, that's where your feet will go. Even if you're doing it in tears, even if you're doing it without any support from anybody else, even if you're doing it when your children or your spouses seem like they're the ones going against you, when your destiny has become one with you, you will keep going. Again, even with tears in your eyes, even when people, all they can see is your struggle when they see you. See, what they don't realize is that you're not living out of the flesh, right? You're not focused on the distractions that's going on around you. When you become one with destiny, you begin to live out of your spirit. And what I mean by that, you see yourself as God already sees you. You see yourself where He has already placed you before you even get there. That's the difference between living out of your flesh and living out of a purposeful place. So I pray that this video has blessed each and one of you. You know, don't let distractions deter you just because, you know, your path is stormy right now. You know, your journey seems so rocky. It does not mean that you're not destined for greatness. That's a lie and a trick of the enemy. It's just some things that you have to maneuver and grow through. And if you give it all to God and allow Him to use you even in that, you will be surprised as to what He will bring from out of you. So whatever you're going through, again, those temporary roadblocks are just a setup by God that's going to push you from a painful place into a purposeful place. So keep going no matter what. The world is waiting for you. And be blessed.